Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Cool. Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
And Mr. Freddy Lockhart.
What up, y'all?
Oh man, chilling. You know what I'm saying? We me and Jeremy had to boost up to the Death Star on him.
We out here in space, homie. Earth got real fucking. It got crowded, didn't it?
Yeah, man. Needed a break, man. Needed a break.
Needed a break.
needed a break. So oh man,
that word.
I know. That's every you know, man.
You know. Answer it. It might be NASA.
Oh yeah. You know, they might need to beam me some. Yeah, they might need to beam me some coordinates. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Lockhart, the relationship between comedy and hip hop.
Ooh, good question. Yeah.
Your thoughts?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's a good. That's a great question. Authenticity. That's the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Authenticity. I always say this, and this probably comes from being mixed. I love country music. I love it. Old school country music. Those dudes were just like rappers. You have to live this life to tell this story. And what I really like about real comedy is real comedy comes from real stories and real truth, real heartbreak, real trauma. You know, that's to me the epitome of comedy. So yeah, I think that the relationship is very good. And I'm an old school hip hop head, and I love pure real hip hop. I've never put a color onto it. 99% of us are going to be black, but every once in a while there's a white dude who shows up and can just drop bars. Ooh. So truth and authenticity. Yeah, that's what I would say.
You know, a contemporary white rapper that I had the pleasure of meeting, and he was kind of blowing, but he really didn't pop at the time. Man, he passed away, man.
Lil.
He was on a Amber Rose's baby daddy label.
Eminem.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
No. Ron did a song with him. Ron.
You talking about Mac Miller?
Mac Miller, yeah, Mac Miller.
Yeah, Mac Miller. Yeah. Exactly. There's a white boy who was dope.
And it's crazy because I was at Ski TV because Ski had this thing where he would let people come in and record albums at his record at his studio. I don't know if he was working publishing splits with people or whatever, but he had like this dope studio, like multimedia complex, whatever.
I know Ski TV very well, and you probably know Jeff Schimmel, who wrote for them.
Oh wow, okay.
So Jeff Schimmel is the brother of Robert Schimmel, the famous comedian, but I got to meet Ski, and I got to meet him and his van, his whole thing. I know what those dudes are about. Ski TV. I know all of those. Those dudes were dope.
Yeah, so so Mac Miller was coming through because he was going to be in a different studio, and he came into the studio where Maceo from De La Soul and myself were, and he introduced himself to Maceo, and I didn't know too much about Mac Miller. I knew my buddy Brown, he was a fan of him, but I really didn't know too much about him. But just his authenticity and the way that he greeted Maceo just gave me a lot of respect for him, man. Like right. I couldn't recite a lyric. I probably still couldn't name a song. I've seen some videos or whatever.
I'm the same way. I feel like I love hip hop enough to know that this kid's got it. He's being welcomed in. He's being respected. He's being shown, what's what. But at the same time, being an old head like I am, I'm like, who the fuck is he? But sadly, it took him dying for me to really go through his catalog and go, yeah.
After the day after I met him and I was talking to Maceo, I did my research after that because I was like, let me see, I was like,
who this guy is.
Yeah, let me see what's up on him. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But the reason I asked you about the relationship between comedy and hip hop is because I feel like there's one dude who's in the spotlight that's really funny, man, but he's kind of too serious to be a comedian, but he's very funny, which is Boosie Badass. He's funny, but even funnier than him, look up Webby. That was his rap part.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I know who he is. Yeah. Hey, man, I watched the, what's his name on TikTok? The Charles, that old head who's always mad at everybody.
Yeah, he was beefing with T.I. That dude's funny.
Yeah, that dude who beefs with everybody.
Yeah.
So what you were saying, authenticity, yeah. I definitely dig that. I guess what I have to say is this, and I look at hip hop like this. Hip hop, like jazz, is a uniquely African American art form and an American art form to go on worldwide. But kind of like basketball, you know how you see the Euro step and you see these amazing like European dudes?
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop has finally gone global. And what I mean by that, it's gone to a point where hip hop, it's not about color. It's about the neighborhood. It's about, what you see, what you hear, the things that are going on, being a reporter for that, right? And so now, you get guys like Mac Miller, and again, he's not going to end up in my top 5. No, not at all. not even close. But it does endear me to see that hip hop has gone to a place now where we can export it, but it can still come from an authentic place. There's French black rappers, you know what I mean? Who are dope. If I understood what the fuck they were saying, I know how dope they were. But they're dope. They're like, but they got bars. And so just like basketball, I don't mind seeing our thing, this thing of ours, hip hop, be exported. And when I say exported, I don't just mean to another country, but another race. As long as you pay homage to hip hop, as long as you really love hip hop, like Beastie Boys did, like Eminem did, like you got to love hip hop.
You know what? I'll say I'm different. I don't care if you love it. You just your skill level, because it's this is how I view society. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You get passes not to just be cocky or be a jerk, but you get passes based on your skill level. Like Kobe.
Right.
Kobe could be off the court, somebody that everybody didn't embrace like that. They loved him, but they might not have liked him. But he could be that guy because his skill level allowed him to be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
But don't you think though, brother? Don't you think he loved the game though?
No. I know he loved the game. But what I'm saying is, if Kobe wanted to skip practice, if Kobe wanted to do, whatever he wanted to do, I'm sure the Lakers organization they probably never gave him too much of anything behind anything he wanted to do because of his skill level. And I say that to say, if Eminem, put it this way, people are just people, so they give him a hard time. But Eminem's skill level is to the level of not too many, like you're going to give, if Eminem was to go out and let's say, get drunk at a party and be on social media and all that kind of stuff, whatever, and hook up with a risque woman or something like that, nobody's really worried. Like he'll get a pass. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's really tripping on Eminem like that because he's Dr. Dre.
I'm about to say, I think you're picking bad examples. Everybody you're talking about is like really particular and works really, really hard. I think a good example would be Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was like, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But Kobe practiced. He was all about
that's
practice.
The thing. Kobe would probably ask the Lakers if they could open up the practice facilities 4 hours earlier and stay open 4 hours later because he's from the school of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I actually saw a TikTok video today, and this is where all my good information comes from is TikTok. But I saw a great TikTok video today that said in 2002, Michael Jordan and the Wizards faced Kobe in the 2-time championship, Kobe and the Lakers. And Michael got in his head because Kobe was wearing a pair of Jordan 7s that game. And Michael goes, you can wear the shoes, but you can't fill them after the Wizards won. And that got in his mentality.
Yeah.
And so I guess it kind of goes back to what you were saying before is I feel like guys like Eminem, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they got that dog in them, as the kids say.
Yeah.
You tell me that? Okay. Now I'm gonna go study twice as hard. Now I'm gonna go forego sleep.
Yeah, when
And guess what? Kobe came back and bested him that season. Got 55 points in Jordan. And Jordan, basically, that's the game they say that he passed the torch to him.
Kobe was not a good example. He was not.
No, you're right.
He was
because he's a workhorse.
Iverson is he's the prime example of I'm so good I could just show up and I'll be the best.
But I'll even go deeper on that and say that he also had a good work ethic. He just wore cornrows, and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
Man,
but you know he had a thing. That was the whole thing. He was like, practice. Y'all tripping over practice? He's not the game.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah. And I'll agree with that. And let's connect this back to the comedy thing, like you talked about earlier with stand-up. As a stand-up comedian, you're an MC, right? You own that stage. When these people give the microphone over to somebody or lose control of the show, I'm like, dude, you're a fucking MC. So where does hip hop influence me? Oh yeah, Rakim would never let that shit happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Method Man would none of the 9 members of the Wu-Tang Clan would let somebody grab that crumb out of their hand. And so the relationship between hip hop and comedy to me is you're an MC, you own the stage, it's my time. And sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's my time. And so when I see these guys, a lot of these, let's say young comics, and I see this a lot on TikTok, they'll go show them handling a heckler. I probably performed 5,000 times in my life. I've had maybe 9 hecklers. People who just simply took umbrage. Yeah. My goal is to turn this into a black church. You know what I mean? We're all going to come together here. And I want motherfuckers running up and down the aisles. I want motherfuckers throwing shit, catching the Holy Ghost. That's what I want at my show. And I want to be able to have the ability, like Richard Pryor did, to be able to stop in the middle of it and let a pin drop and take my next thought, which I'll go again back to hip hop and say, take somebody like the Ghetto Boys, whose rhymes are so thoughtful but slow, very slow. Every time they deliver them, it's very slow. It's very like, here's a great example from Ghetto Boys when they did My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. Bushwick Bill goes, he stood about 6 or 7 feet. Now, by the way, when you're a midget, 6 or 7 feet, not much discrepancy. They're both much taller than you. 5, 6, 7, whatever. That's a bad description to the police. He stood about 6 or 7 feet. Okay, well, that's everybody in LA. But they take you on a story, and so what it also goes back to is why I love country music is it's storytelling. I live this. I speak it with passion. When I say country music, I don't mean Travis Tritt or any modern day guy. I'm talking Johnny Cash. I'm talking fucking Hank Williams. I'm talking, these are the Nas's, these are the Rakims of the country world. So to tie it all together, recently watched Elvis Presley's documentary. I saw the Elvis movie and I was like, yeah, this kid doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it.
You talking about
he just doesn't have what Elvis. Yeah, the actor.
Yeah.
Good actor. But don't get me wrong, Elvis is equal to me what Tupac is to hip hop. And I'll end on this. Tupac had it all. Looks, charisma, rhymes, funny, charming, likable, movies, the whole fucking thing. He is the face of hip hop. Is he in my top 5? Hot take? No, he's not. He's not in my top 5. But he's the face of hip hop? Yeah, absolutely. Is Elvis the face of rock and roll? Yeah, absolutely. No fucking problem saying
Real
that.
quick, Jeremy. Real quick, Jeremy. I gotta get it off.
Yeah, I'm
Man.
sorry, bro. I've been going.
No, it was good. Like, no, it was good. You were I was feeling everything you said up until you started talking about Elvis. And
well, let's unpack Elvis.
You saw the
I'm
movie?
ready to it.
no,
The movie was garbage.
Movie, man.
He said a movie. He was talking about the movie.
Let me tell you this. Let me go into this and let me propose something to you before you answer. Elvis grew up in a poor black neighborhood, right? He used to go to black churches and catch the Holy Ghost.
Yeah,
I dare say to you that maybe he didn't steal it, but at the time in 1956, 57, he could only be the author of it. Not the author of it. He didn't originate it.
No,
but he did not go steal it from them. He was immersed in them. He loves gospel music as his favorite form of music. He hung out at the black clubs. B.B. King, who's my favorite artist of all time, loved him some Elvis Presley. So what I'm telling you is this, and not telling you, God forbid. What I'm imploring you to do is understand there's an old saying that he stole, and maybe he didn't steal. Maybe he was so immersed in the culture that he just loved it so much. And of course, that was the time that, well, hey.
Nah. So what I was going to say is...
Okay.
What I was going to say is, to me, Elvis would be the parallel of social media today.
Okay.
Like, so it was a bunch of, and I say that to say, like, with his popularity, Elvis, a lot of people went crazy because he was a white dude gyrating. And, and it's kind of like, and he was talking slick, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he kind of had a little rapping tone and a little, whatever.
Like, we've seen that.
But there was black people that was doing the same thing, but they weren't allowed. Like it would be like someone not allowed to be on social media and then someone allowed to be on social media. And so you're gonna like gravitate to the person who you see on social media, because it's like they wouldn't allow black artists to shake their hips the way Elvis shook his hips and all that kind of stuff. Like, man, it ain't no way they let you do that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. And you know what? If you ask me who the king of rock and roll is, I'm going to tell you Chuck Berry day and night. I'm going to tell you Chuck Berry. But when I go back and I get in my time machine, brother, right? And I go, okay, I'm a music producer. Love this black sound, but come on. I can't show it. I'll get shut down. So now what you have is a blonde guy who comes around, dyes his hair black with shoe polish, because he loves the brothers so much. Like, this dude might have been, he should have been wearing a do-rag. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I would go on to say that maybe he was the Eminem of his time, but he did not rob our culture. However, and here's where I agree with you, America decided to crown him the king of our thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's a difficult conversation, because you got to ask them what's our thing, because all of it's our thing. You know, jazz music birth gospel, birth rock and roll, birth R&B, hip hop. So all of it's ours. So where do you feel like we're
getting? Where do you guys feel like
it's American jazz is American art form. Black people are Americans, therefore Black American music is the root of all American art forms.
Do you know during World War II, when they sent GIs over to Europe, Europeans were so much more advanced in race relations. They loved Cab Calloway. They loved big band. They loved jazz music. They were all about that shit.
I mean, that's why it affects globally. You know what I'm saying? Why they can hear our music, but we can't hear theirs.
And so what I will always give Elvis Presley is this. I don't feel like he stole from us, but I do feel like the white crowd does be like, oh, he's the king. Well, hold on. He brought our message to the white folks. It's kind
Well,
of a living single friends thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult conversation because then what's theft? That's what I'm saying. Like black Amer like it's like this American white Americans own black music. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it less American music. You know, jazz is an original American art
And that's
form.
what I hate is that they treat us like we're you don't even need to call it African American. Jazz
Yeah,
is an American art
it's an
form that has
American
been
art form.
export. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is an
black
original.
Americans are the root of America. We are been a root of America as far as building what this country is from the ground up, and you know we're integrated in every part of it economically. At one point, we were the money. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Right.
somebody said like, "Yo, I got somebody,"
Arr.
like if somebody. But I'm saying like this. Back in the day, somebody was like, "Yo, I got 12." Somebody now says, "I got 12 cars." That was equivalent back then to be like, "Yo, I got 12 slaves." Like, "Oh, you rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got 12, I only got 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
so
right.
so you know, that exception, you know, and people try to drive that term equality into it, not when it comes to music. Jazz music is the only original American art form. A musical art form. All other types of music come from different places. You know, I've
Absolutely.
studied music,
And
you know.
jazz. If remember right, I act like I lived some shit I read. But jazz started out with JAS in the 20s. It was in New Orleans. It was known
Yeah.
as jazz, but then it became jazz. But what I love about jazz and hip hop, and here's where I am a hip hop snob.
Mhm.
My heart lies with the East Coast, even though I was born on the West Coast.
Hey,
However,
hey, look at his
like
face.
hip hop and like jazz, every corner of America has offered up their interpretation of it that I have wholeheartedly respected. What do you guys think about that?
And that's where Freddy is the master of ceremonies, because he probably saw the look on my face and he spun it around and he put his little elegant he put the new he put his
put the
he put
nuance on it. I put the Martin on it, not the Malcolm.
Yeah.
Like, but brothers, we can all march together.
He put the nuance that I couldn't come back and rebuttal because he eloquently put it all together.
Well, because I really do feel like everybody offered up something, don't you?
Nah, that's true.
Like the West Coast, to me, when I hear those beats, West Coast beats, nobody can top that. A West Coast beat? Are you fucking serious? But when I hear some grimy Southern rhymes, that's dope too. After you back it up, then stop, then drop it like it's hot. Like, oh, I love everybody's interpretation of this thing we do. And I love that it connected us and it showed that Black Americans, not only do we contribute, we dominate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you,
and not just in entertainment, by the way. That's where they'll give us a pass, entertainment and sports, but give us a chance in science, give us a chance in history. We'll dominate that shit too.
Well, yeah, that's proven too. George Washington Carver, you know, he was a scientist. People always credit him with peanut butter, but you know, he literally innovated cultural agriculture across the board, and that's a science.
Yeah,
that's
a science.
Yeah, that's not just. That's not just playing around with peanuts.
It's California's biggest export. Everybody thinks it's entertainment. No, agriculture.
Yeah, he was an inventor. That's what people. Love playing my boy.
I want to say sometime in around 1901, Teddy Roosevelt was president from 1900 to 1908, and his best friend was Booker T. Washington. He's like, "That's my bro. I'm gonna have him at the White House."
Right? Hey, real quick, you just knew that offhand.
Yeah, I did. I did.
He was like Teddy Roosevelt. He was president from like you lived.
As you know,
nah.
Well, because
no,
go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
I cut you off, but I got a bad habit with it, but I had to because it's like, man, I feel like the dummy in the room. You and Jeremy y'all been doing some stuff.
Here's like the thing, man. Like we live in America, brother. You know what I mean?
Nah, I think
no. But let me tell you this: go to Africa, go to Nigeria, go to Sudan, go to Chad, go to any of these places that go, hey man, I'm African American. They're like, you're not African. You know nothing about me. Who dominates things, right? Who goes to Harvard? Brothers and Asians and Jewish folks. Am I right or am I wrong? It has
I don't know any
nothing to
Harvard
do with
graduates.
race.
I think I know one person that went to Harvard. I think.
Oh,
Barack
man,
Obama.
I drove by.
Barack Obama. That's all I know.
Yeah, Barack Obama. Look, but here's my point though: is you know who goes to Harvard? Nigerians, South Sudanese. Like we're not underrepresented there. What drives me nuts about the United States of America is they'll give us jazz, they'll give us hip hop, they'll give us sports, right? But will they not give us? Look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's the leading, foremost authority on all things as it relates to space. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want us. And again, I keep saying I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on this. But
at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, because niggas always be saying at the end of the day. At the end of the day, though. At the end of the day. At the end of the day. But I have two nieces and a nephew. Yeah. One wants to be an engineer. One wants to go to space. The other one wants to. I want us to encourage Black kids that they can do. Yes, we can do music. We can do sports. But wait till they get a load of us where we do science, math, and all that shit.
Nah,
and
Freddy,
I
want my sons to be rappers, man. All of them.
Hey man, if they got bars, they got bars, cuz. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's an excellent point. Seriously, I think that's an excellent point.
I think we need to encourage the Black folks to go, look, this is something that's offered to us, but there's so much more we can do.
If I see one more Black person over the age of 14 dancing in unison, oh man, and it drives me crazy, man.
All right, let me take you guys on a real deep place here, a real unpopular place. If you don't mind, are we live?
We live.
Yeah, been live.
Shit. So I talk to my pops every day. My pops is old school. You know, fuck them niggas, fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. He'll conjugate fuck. He don't give a shit. I saw a video today with Charleston White. That's who his name is.
Charleston White,
yeah. And he was going on and on about George Floyd did this, George Floyd did that in the past. Here's what bothers me about that. If you have an interaction with the police, it doesn't matter what you did the day before that.
But Charleston White, but he's a troll though. So you got to kind of look at him, and I know it's painful.
You're right.
with the climate of everything, but like I've watched Charleston White do interviews where he's been when he wasn't the character that we see, and he was man, he was talking about all the money he made. He started off making money on Facebook, and he's like, man, you stupid, you the fool. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
he's like, who's the fool? Am I the fool? Or are you the fool? Because I'm getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like
an Andrew Tate situation.
Yeah. So when you look at it in the context, you know what I'm saying? When you look at it in the context, and it's so interesting you mentioned Andrew Tate, because I found out about Andrew Tate probably about like maybe 8 months ago. And I found out about him in the context of things motivational, things motivational. He started popping
like David Goggins.
Now this is the thing about David Goggins.
This nigga.
Okay, so
get up early. Okay, settle down, homie. I'm trying to sleep in, cuz.
So I went through a whole process where I wanted to just do better and do more than what I was doing.
Sure.
So I went from Inky Johnson, who's the lightest, as far as, he's not heavy motivation, but he has a very interesting story, but he's like a level 2 or 3 of motivation. And then
get up, make your bed, that kind of shit.
Yeah. And then you got I think his name is EC or ET, but he's like maybe up to about a 5. And then I found David Goggins, and I had to tell myself, man, you can only listen to him like, man, once a month, man. He'll make you feel horrible about yourself.
Yeah, because that nigga's like, oh, why you sleeping? It's 4:30. Why you sleeping like a little bitch ass nigga? Because I'm tired. Yeah.
He's like, man, when I became a Navy SEAL, I tried 8 times. And when I completed it with 5 broken ribs and 2 toes.
Let's settle down, nigga. Like, I'm just trying to get up before 9. You know, like that, huh? And he's always moving in his videos too, isn't he? Always jogging.
Yeah.
Why you being a bitch ass?
But he broke his body down. He said he couldn't, you know, he did all his extra, you know,
all that get up early shit. You know what? I gotta say, man, it ain't popular to say, but fuck all that getting up early shit. I'm a writer on a TV show. I get up at 10 a.m. and I got no problems. My bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Tell him.
This is what this motherfucker's talking about. Oh, you slept past 4:30. This nigga's always out here just mad. Okay, who snatched your wig, cuz? You know, say take one day, smoke a joint. Take one day, get high, hang out with your mans and them.
That's funny. I just want to go over a few things. Well, one, I like to express my opinion when it comes to you know, police murdering criminals. Let's just be very broad about that. I feel like murderers should do time. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how much time, but I just think it's ridiculous where you kill somebody. This YouTube, sorry. You unalive somebody, and
is that the thing? Unalive somebody now?
You're not allowed to say
niggas don't get got no more.
You can't reverse them.
You can't say KIL.
Reverse them.
You automatically lose the 2. Yeah, reverse. That's a good one too. But yeah,
reverse.
Basically, yeah, when you unplug somebody from the Matrix, and you to go home and sleep in a pillow, I can't justify that. That's everybody across the board. You know what I mean? You do some time.
Let me ask you this: if you're a soldier, okay, and say your options for this, and here's who fights America's wars: is young black kids and young poor white kids.
Right. That's
who fights America's wars.
Mm-hmm.
So they come to your guidance counselor. Let's say you're going to graduate high school, and I don't know, I graduated in 97, but let's say you're going to graduate 2023 this year.
Mm-hmm.
You got motherfucking D's and C's, homie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You turned in reports written in crayon. Ain't no college trying to get you.
Mm-hmm.
So now here comes the Marine recruiter. Here's what we're going to offer you, brother. We're going to give you 4 years. We're going to give you set you up with a GI Bill and do all that. But now you got to go kill folks. Like, you've got to go kill folks.
Yeah.
For real.
I think that at no matter what point, you killing people. You need a timeout. No matter what, timeouts are okay. No,
you're getting in the shit. And so with that, somebody's gonna get got.
That's true.
At your rifle. And so I guess what I'm saying is 2 points.
Okay.
Number one, the American Dream, college, overrated. I didn't go to college.
Absolutely.
I didn't go to college.
Absolutely.
My sister got a fucking doctorate. I didn't go to college. But what am I going to do in college? Waste my parents' time and money, which they don't have? Or am I going to go into comedy? However, the military, they come in shining that thing where it's like, hey, look at this. You can have a future.
That's fine. I'm just saying, you know, because we live in an age where people don't understand context. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to come up with coverall strategies for the most basic person, something that fits on a cue card that somebody can read from a distance. And my line is murderers do time, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna go into super detail on that, but I'll just say that that's where the judge comes in. That's where you get the layers. But I just can't imagine these people who you unalive somebody, right? You're a cop and you unalive somebody. And they're like, well, this person, they start bringing up the person's criminal record. I'm like, they're not on trial, bro.
Yeah.
It's
anything
this
that person to do, anything that person had to do a nanosecond before he was detained by police has nothing to do with it.
Irrelevant.
However,
it was solved.
However, here's where I will agree with Charleston White, or what's his name? Charleston White.
Charleston White. Yeah.
Charleston White.
Charleston Chew.
He also doesn't deserve a statue.
Oh well, yeah, that's a whole nother layer, and definitely, that's a whole statues, man. That's a topic we're missing. But yeah, I want to go over a couple other things that were stated real quick. Ghetto Boys, R.I.P. to Bushwick Bill. Shout out to Willie D. Want to have him on the show. Scarface, always a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Then what else? Yeah, Charleston White. Dang, I think I lost.
Well, Charleston White always is talking that shit, but he makes everything black or white. Nothing's black or white.
Nah, but he's
a troll. Like
he is a troll.
Yeah, he's
on the internet
comedy.
I saw him do a meet and greet with a bunch of cops where he was just yes, boss. I'm so happy to meet you. Oh yes, you're the lieutenant. No, none of that. None of that.
Hey, anybody who elongates their name, like, bruh, you could be C, you could be Charles, you could be Chuck. Who nickname is longer than their name, bruh?
When you want to sound like an author, you abbreviate your first name. When you get jammed up for some serious crimes, they read your whole license. That's why everybody sounds like a fucking psycho. My whole name, if I did a school shooting, Project Douglas Lockhart III, unleashes hot nicks on an 8th grade class. Hey, but they was talking shit. They was talking shit.
Oh, Freddie, real quick, man. First rap song you learned the lyrics to?
Oh, for sure. Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight on a road trip with my dad, because I'm second generation hip hop. My dad's like, oh, you think you know hip hop? Shit. Melly Mel, Sugar Hill. Like, he's naming all these old ass. I'm talking about Rakim. I'm talking, real motherfuckers. But my dad and we connected on hip hop. That was our very first connection. Was he started to realize that even at 3-4 years old, I knew all the words to Rapper's Delight. All of them. To the hoses and ring the bell because I am the man with the clientele. Like, we would hit it and hit it and hit it.
I know mine is weird because I think I probably was memorizing more R&B songs just in general.
Yeah.
But one I know I had the booklet to was Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, and Do Wop That Thing. I was reading.
Oh yeah.
But that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. But then I also remember like was it? I knew I didn't know Jiggle what Jay-Z song was that? I knew DMX Stop, Drop. That's yeah. Especially at the end, like, talk is cheap, motherfucker. And they'd be like, well,
it's dark and hell is hot. 1993, I want to say.
Can I Get It? Can I Get It?
Oh God, yes.
Low key. Of course, I knew hip hop before that, but I was just saying something, you know what I mean? And some of the lyrics. But I think those were the three that I knew every word to.
Hey, the club was so cracking. The club was so cracking when those songs were out.
Yo, for sure.
Yo, so we have a chat. People chime in. Our boy Ben Frank, he said Rapper's Delight is ancient hip hop.
It is. It's very ancient hip hop. And by the way, Rapper's Delight totally stolen too. By the way,
he said stolen.
Yeah, stolen.
Whoa, what? Tell me about it.
Rapper's Delight. There were some dudes on the below 14th in Manhattan doing those rhymes, and those dudes bit those rhymes, from what I understand in hip hop lore. But they bit them, and they went on TV with them. And then Blondie started rapping.
Hey man, you know what? Look, I hate to say this, but first person to get it made is the victor. We can't do it because literally everybody go, oh, this is a Def Jam comic. This is a Def Jam comic. Def Jam came from Comedy Act Theater. You know what I'm saying? So
right, everything's
you know
derivative.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the first person to put it on wax. I'm sorry, I gotta give him credit. You know?
No, you're right about that.
It's a cold world, man.
It's a cold
world.
It's a cold world, man. And in that case, Nelly invented "I'm going down, down, baby, no street."
I'll say this: I always felt like Nas's album "Illmatic" is equivalent to what Miles Davis put out in Kind of Blue with jazz. Became such a seminal album.
Yes.
That, in fact, he's the Orson Welles of hip hop in that he put out Citizen Kane so early, so young.
Yeah.
How do you top that?
Well, I mean, since we're here, since you did this, I don't do this.
We here.
I avoid this topic, but since we're here, yes, Nas is very prophetic in a way, and it's funny how just a concept affects hip hop. I think a lot of people agree hip hop's in a great place. You know what I'm saying? But the question is, would hip hop have improved or itself if he didn't propose the idea of hip hop was dead? I think that's very Orson Welles-esque. You know what I mean? With the concept of 1984 and Animal Farm, where it just took a reflection, like, hey, look, this is where our society is. This is where it could go if you don't do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny that you compare Nas to Orson Welles in that way. With that I just think that was a good comparison. And
I think it is too. And Greg looks like he's got a mouthful.
What are y'all talking about? He's like, what are y'all talking about?
Man, I'm up here, man. I'm spending my Tuesday with two comedians, both more known on factual things than I'm known on factual things. So I'm sitting back being educated and just enjoying the conversation, man.
Oh, real quick, and then I'm gonna chill because I could do Nas all day. It's really an unfair topic. So first time I met Nas was at a Miles Davis art exhibit.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. I was on Sunset, walking up the street, and I saw Nas and his daughter go into the exhibit, and I'm like, yo, what? No way. And I didn't even know what the building was. I walk up, and there's this guy at the door. He goes, hey, man, this is a private event. Like, literally, if you're not on the list, you can't get in. And I was like, well, what is it? He said, it's a Miles Davis art exhibit. I said, what? I didn't know Miles Davis did art. Like, yeah, a lot of people didn't. And I was
you did a piece with him with this trumpet.
There it is.
Did I ruin it?
No, you're on point. That's exactly what I was going to say next. It's perfect. I literally showed him. I said, I painted a piece in high school. It's Miles Davis, whatever. And it's crazy. I painted this piece of Miles Davis, didn't even know he did art. I showed the guy. He goes, wow. He goes, do you know who I am? I go, no. He goes, I'm his son. He goes, this is amazing.
Nah, I was his grandson. I know him always. He's a drummer, really? Kind of heavy dude. Yeah, we did. No,
I think he said his son. Because this is why I said this. And I mean, I could be misremembering. He goes, look, go in there. He said, my sister's in there. He said, go and show her this. Right. So I go in there and I go, hey, your brother told me to show you this. And she goes, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
But at that point it didn't matter because I'm in.
Yeah, you're drinking the champagne. I saw a video recently on TikTok where some kid in 8th grade played for Miles Davis, played the trumpet. He goes, you need to practice more.
Well, yeah, he's known for
for being like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'll tell you who else was there. That's why
they say, though, don't meet your idols.
I'll tell you who else was there who had similar energy was I just lost it. Who played him in the movie?
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle was there. And I ran to Don Cheadle, who's this tall, and I go, I said, my name's Jeremy, I do stand-up comedy. And he goes, oh, yeah, you don't seem funny.
Oh, what?
I was like, what?
You should have been like, you don't seem like a gangster in colors, you know?
Yo, he was hitting me with he was like, what are you performing at? I said, I said, you know, Comedy Store, and he was like, you do it at the Improv? I was like, yeah, I go at the Improv. He said, you know, Chris Spencer? Everybody know Chris Spencer. He the plug.
Yeah, there you go.
Don Cheadle, man, he tried to sum me.
You know what?
Hey.
Fuck that old nigga and his mark ass British accent and Ocean's 11 too. Fuck him.
He
I
was
didn't-
the colors
I-
though, man.
I
He was
had
the
no
colors.
idea. He was cool. He straightened up after that. He just hit me with that, but I had no idea he was that tall, man. I ain't gonna
No,
lie.
you don't come up with that "you ain't funny" thing. You might the N word with a hard R is less offensive to "you ain't funny." Don't ever come at me with that shit. I'll fucking show you fun. I'll have your mans and them, your moms, everybody laughing.
Oh man. Cheeto, man. I really wanted to see him again, because one thing I said I appreciate, even though he was coming like hard, he wasn't like, you know, some people had like that aura, like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm too big to talk to. Like
Right.
he was here with it. Like,
Oh, he was like,
yeah.
you just like Charlemagne the God, like you just ain't got bars, homie.
Yeah. And I was like, we come to a show, man. He was like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
he was like, well, you know, pretty much like, I only, you know, go to Chris Spencer shows. So blah, blah. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. But
Well,
yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah. You know. Yeah, I don't know if the movie had come out yet. It was a while ago, but yeah.
old ass. Fuck his old ass, man. I'm bored with that motherfucker's ass, dude.
Yeah,
So
fuck
tell-
John Cheadle, bro.
I'm
For
gonna
real.
come off the wall, Freddy.
Yeah, spread it out,
Marvel
man.
versus DC.
Man, you got me started on this. You're not gonna like this answer.
I'm gonna love it.
No, I fucking hate superhero movies. They need to go away. They're destroying modern cinema. They have taken. Batman fitting to die. No, he's not. He's not gonna die.
He's not.
No. Oh, Superman no, he's not gonna die. He's immortal. He's not gonna die. Fuck all that superhero jive, cool.
I know who was it? I think Oliver Stone. I could be wrong. Or Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese. He's pretty much said that, you know, they're ruining cinema.
They are. They
And-
killed cinema.
And a lot of people compare it to how Westerns were. They
I
pretty
wanna
much
go
said
back- Yeah.
Westerns were like taking over to the point where it got ridiculous. I think Bonanza is what finally put the nail in the coffin.
Bonanza ran for 22 years, but I got to say this, and I'm going to go back to Sugar Hill Gang to really make you mad. To really make you mad, homie, Greg. I'm gonna spit here. He's a fairy, I do suppose, flying through the air with pantyhose. He may be very sexy or even cute, but he looks like a sucker in a blue and red suit. Come on, homie. I don't want to hear about some dude flying around. You know what I'm saying? With a cape. I ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time for that. So that's how I feel about the DC Marvel.
Well, Freddie, I don't know if you know, I am really good friends with James Gunn. Wanted to cast you in the brand new.
Oh yeah, and you know I would too. I'll be whoever. I'll be the light skin light, whatever the fuck you need. I will be that because that payday is right. Come on now, I ain't that snobby.
What were you saying about superhero films? You
Oh
know,
yeah, I love Marvel. I be loving Marvel. I'll say this, and now that I've bashed on superhero films, I really like two films. Number one, I like Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Okay,
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Okay,
Liked it a lot. Made it believable.
okay.
And then I liked, probably not a hot take, or maybe a hot take, but the Joker. I liked it.
Well, yeah, it's weird. Literally, this villain movie is one of the highest grossing superhero films of all time.
Right.
Crazy.
But Joaquin Phoenix, though, man, oh my god, man, he the like method acting.
Yeah, he goes
You
deep.
know, he did your boy Johnny Cash, man. I think he did Johnny
Yeah,
Cash.
he
Yeah,
did.
he and it's you know, you can tell when he brings a character to life that he immerses himself in that character for a very long time. Like I would say he is the same. I would give him in Johnny Cash and the Joker, I'd give him almost the same as Jamie Foxx and Ray. You know,
Okay.
the way, you know,
Sure.
in a
Immersion.
You know, oh man, like, you know, but I'll say that what's his name probably outdid him with the Joker, though, the one who's no longer here with us, you know, rest in peace.
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Yeah, he probably took it. You know, I wouldn't compare the performances, but he you know, he couldn't pull up out of it. You know what I'm saying? He was that for a moment. So
I think real quick, I think Joaquin Phoenix's best role was him being a rapper.
Oh
yeah,
just bringing it around. He got 4 songs.
That was pretty funny. And when he went on the whole night show circuit, he did the whole thing. Yeah, that was good.
As a rap song, cause I'm still here. He immersed himself in that. I'm glad it's over. All right, continue.
he fell off the stage. I think I don't know if Puffy was there, or it's kind of like a blur, but I know he walked and fell right off the stage. You know.
Oh, let me see.
Oh yeah, he definitely did that.
That's funny. Yeah. So, exactly what happened. That's funny.
he fell right off the stage. So your most iconic moment, Freddie?
In comedy, hip hop, music,
Period.
entertainment,
Life.
I would have to say, and this is what it means the most to me. My dad was very unimpressed by everything. Shit, I've seen that. Like, he always saw better. Shit, you know. My dad was always like, when Michael Jackson did the moonwalk at the Motown 25th anniversary awards, my dad got off the couch and was clapping like a schoolgirl. Like, so that is what made me go, I want to be able to do what made my dad do that. I can't moonwalk. That's not going to happen. But I'm funny. And so the whole thing was, and this why it kind of goes back to music. It doesn't matter the genre. Like Eddie Murphy will tell you his biggest idol was Elvis Presley. It matters your charisma and what you do with when you're on stage. And my dad, who gives it up for nobody, saw the moonwalk after he broke off Billie Jean. And I mean broke it off. The cameraman was even into it. Like, nobody could sit still. But then when he broke off the moonwalk, my dad was on the, like, yeah, get it. You know, okay, get it. I was like, I got to do something in this business that makes my dad get off the couch like that and go get it. And now he does, so much so that I'm like, Dad, I need you to settle it down. I need some more wins.
That's funny. We touched on it a little bit, but I'd like to give a full version of what's your thoughts on the Tyree Nichols situation in Memphis.
I guess what I hate is both political sides are flipping it, right? So Fox News is being like, well, you see, black cops can be bad too. But I know the statistics, and black cops statistically are not bad at all. So don't let this news story make you think black cops also engage in the same thing. In my opinion, black cops don't. Statistically, they don't get jammed up. They don't get in trouble. They especially in Memphis, Atlanta, these are 80% black PDs, police departments. What I see happening right now, the swift justice was like,
yeah, that's crazy.
It's a little bothersome to me, and they're like, they're not trying to protect them. They're like, oh, let's just turn them over. These guys, they did it. So how quick they were ready to turn them over and not a white PD does bother me. Not gonna lie.
We'll say, what about the concept of I don't know. Actually, I think that's pretty solid. I ain't gonna lie, because I didn't really think about the take of like the statistics when it comes to black officers.
Well, everybody turns it into race, but the thing is, black officers prove time and time again to not engage in this kind of shit. What I think happened was, and in this instance, you can teach And I hate to take it back to slavery, but you could teach the plantation mentality to any color. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
You guys know what I mean by that?
Willie Lynch syndrome.
Exactly. So the things they were saying to him, the fact that if I was a police officer and I shot somebody or I hurt them, immediately you call an RA, which is a rescue ambulance. Immediately you call somebody to come down there, and now the threat is over and we need to give this is a human life.
Yeah.
It's a human life. And so when it goes back to even the George Floyd thing, do I believe he deserves statues? No. He was a poop butt trying to pass some fucked up bills. But before that day, before that interaction, he was a human being.
Yeah.
And so what really bothers me, I guess, is that there is no trial. And especially when the city and the state and the DA go, oh, he did this, he did that. Doesn't matter before this interaction. If this was a child molester, you still get him a fucking ambulance because this man is suffering. And so I guess it goes back to, I would almost rather see somebody get shot than beaten and left to die. Like this man was left to die. And color or not, shame on you as a human being. Shame on you.
Well,
yeah, I've heard. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
I've heard a conspiracy theory about, maybe this person was a child molester, and that's why the cops decided to take it upon justice upon themselves or something like that too.
Well, if you decide to live in a organized society, even a child molester, which they're terrible people, and I don't mind a little street justice, but as it relates to the law, this motherfucker has to have his day in court.
Right.
I don't think any jury would side with anybody who did these things, but they're saying this is worse than Rodney King. And here's why it bothers me. Rodney King was caught on camera because some producer in the Valley happened to have a camera, which was a very rare thing.
Back there, yeah.
Which should also tell you, how many times did this happen that nobody bared witness to for the next 20 years with Rodney King? And so when they want to bring these black cops into it, yes, this is it's so disgusting. I've never been a fan of dismantling the police. The whole get rid of the police thing is a white Portland white guy named Trevor idea who doesn't live in the hood. People in the hood are saying, stop killing us. They're not saying stop policing this neighborhood. Please don't stop. But in this instance, what we saw here is that police need to be held accountable regardless of what color they are. You can't do a human being dirty like that. You just can't. That's how I feel.
What about the female officer that decided to let
gangbang everybody?
Yeah, let everybody beat on her.
Oh, the gangbang cop. Oh.
Yeah, that was in Tennessee as well.
That's one of those reasons where I go, yeah, this is why I love TikTok. I don't care if they're stealing my information. Because this shit is so good. It's so funny. Like, come on. Ooh, ooh, that's the sound of the police. Ooh, ooh, that's the sound of the sergeant getting fucked by the whole police.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have not seen the video. I believe I'm the type of person, if there's enough people that passionately feel a certain way, I won't necessarily go out and wave a flag or just do whatever, but enough people have seen the videotape it's flooded social media to the point that I believe that the people that have seen it have seen, I don't think they're putting extras on what they've seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. It's as brutal as the chief described. And as we've seen in the video, I guess here's what bothers me the most about it is there's a whole thing that when it comes to black interaction with the police, and I say this as somebody who's been through LAPD's the whole thing. I took the written test, I aced it. Like I did everything, and I only did this as a writer, just trying to investigate like what's going on. Two things I found out about LAPD is, number one, they're 70% people of color, 30% people white. But here's where people get hooked on the wrong idea. You can teach the difference between criminals and cops, right? They can teach that to any color, that you make no distinction. And so here's what I'll say. LAPD, they start off in a given neighborhood. LASD, LA County Sheriff's deputies, they have to work the LA County Men's Jail for a year before they're put on deployment. And by the way, LA County Sheriff's deputies, they don't wear body cams. What does that tell you? Two things. Number one, the sheriff is an elected official. The police chief has to go up for review. And right now, you guys both live in LA, right?
Yeah.
Karen Bass, who I voted for, I don't know if you guys have seen it outside your neighborhood, but I've seen it. She's getting shit done, in my opinion. I've seen the encampments cleaned up. I've seen crime drop. In a short month, in 1 month in office, I've seen what she ran on. And so what it goes back to is the whole idea that we people get so caught up in national elections. Vote locally.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Vote locally. That's the most important thing. Karen Bass, a black woman, is mayor of Los Angeles right now, and she's doing things we haven't seen since Rudy Giuliani was mayor of New York. And you know how bad he squandered his reputation. But I look out my window, I walk down the street, I see immediate results, and I'm a pretty happy voter.
What do you think of this idea about hiring police officers from that very same neighborhood?
So LAPD has a rule that if you haven't had residency in Los Angeles for 10 years, you can't apply. And I love that rule. Yeah.
Interesting.
Again, here's why LAPD has a bad rep, and I am not here to speak on their behalf because they're not a great police department. However, people still think of them as the 1992 LAPD. If there was ever any police department that had more scrutiny in the world, was them. They got body cameras first. And let me give you another statistic. All right. There are 9,000 sworn police officers in LA. And right now they're probably down to 8,000 because they're leaving their jobs every day. In New York City, you have 50,000 sworn with NYPD. New York City is 8 million people strong. We're 4 million people strong. So by that math, we should have 25,000 sworn. We have 9,000 police officers. Okay. And also what happens is we're a car city. The rubbing elbows with the cop who walks the beat, knows your mom's name. It's a very East Coast thing. It doesn't happen out here. And so when you call the police when you need them, but what you need them to do is not treat you like the fucking suspect.
Yeah.
And when I really want to go back to it and go, stop trying to save our 18, 19-year-olds. Okay. They're gone. They're gone. The Piru Crips or the Piru Bloods, the Grape Street, whoever, they own them. Invest in infrastructure. Stop sending black kids to white schools. Give us good schools. Start us to win from the beginning. That's, if I were a politician, this is what drives me nuts about the Black Panthers. And here I go on a tangent. You know me, Jeremy. I love guns. I have a lot of them. As a black man, it's my right in America.
We need to talk about that, actually.
Every black man, I implore you to arm yourself. But the reason why the California gun laws are so strict, because when Ronald Reagan was governor and the Black Panthers decided to exercise their Second Amendment right on the steps of the Oakland courthouses, suddenly we need legislation. We can have black men showing up with rifles. I will always have a gun in this country. Always exercise my 2A. And I won't go march with those lunatics, those 2A lunatics. But I tell you what, brothers, arm your fucking selves. And I don't mean that for tyranny or any of those outdated words. I mean it for you have legal papers. They pull you over. They've got you at gunpoint. Everything checks out. They got to give you your gun back. Fuck them. How about that?
Man. So with that being said, before we started the podcast, I didn't want to make an assumption, but I had an assumption, but I asked if you were biracial, and you said you were.
I am, yeah.
So being biracial, your beard lets me know that you're closer to a brother than if you didn't have a beard, or if you didn't have hair on your face. And then you're a very personable person. So when you're around people, how do you deal with them when they feel slick enough? People that aren't Black, how do you deal with them when they're slick enough to make comments that disparage, let's say, like the situation that's going on right now, and they think that you're cool enough to side, like somewhere in the logic or the lack of logic that they have, they feel that you're cool enough to have this off-cuff conversation or whatever. What's that conversation like?
Greg, you just tapped into something that I tried to explain to people what being biracial is like. Let me give you an example of what it's like. I fit in everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It could be a room full of Russian dudes. I'll fit right in. We drink vodka. We have a good time. It's okay. Yes. I fit in everywhere. But when you fit in everywhere, here's what you hear. And this is why so many light-skinned people are really militant like me. I had an Uber driver one time who starts going in on about things, right? And this was around George Floyd. Yeah. And he and you know how it is. Well, I don't want to say you know how it is. This is a light skin thing.
No, when they get loose, when people get loose,
they get loose. But you can start hearing the N-word come. The N-word with a
hard R.
Yeah. There's thunder, there's lightning. It's coming. It's coming. And so I usually cut it off by going, my full name is Frederick Douglass Lockhart III. And that's a conversation killer. Because the second you hear that name, you go, oh. Oh, okay. Okay. And another thing that bothers me is when white people want to hear the Black experience from me. I could look Italian. I could look Russian. I could look Armenian. I could be anything.
Middle Eastern, yeah.
Don't ask me for the Black experience. I can only give you my own. But give the Black folks credit to have enough of a unique experience as white people do. And what I mean by that is this. You're Irish. Okay, you're Catholic. You're from this neighborhood. You're Italian. Okay, you're from this neighborhood. You're French. Okay, you're a pussy.
Yep.
You know, Black people, what bothers me about both Black and white people, we don't give ourselves enough credit to be diverse. My sister has a doctorate. A doctorate.
Big deal.
She speaks multiple languages. And by the way, my Black side of my family all went to college. My white side, bunch of poor white trash. And so what really bothers me is here's one thing that even bothers me is even when a Black person is stupid enough to be Republican, Larry Elder, let's say.
Oh, the worst. Wow.
But you know something?
You dug him up from the grave.
He's a troll too, man. He's a troll though. I mean,
that nigga has the right to be wrong.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
He has the right to be wrong because he's an American. It is not his obligation to vote the way I vote. And by the way, I don't believe the Democratic Party has our best interests at heart. We're tokens to them.
Yeah.
And you know who else we're tokens to? The Republican Party.
Yeah.
If Greg, me, and Jeremy, if we showed up to, I swear to God, to the Republican National Convention, you know what would happen?
They love
They'd
it.
embrace us with open
Yeah,
arms.
they love
They'd
us, man.
and you know why? Because we excuse all of the racist shit they say just by our presence.
We
But
make
here's
them
what
feel
we-
like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
But what we can't do is also think the Democrats have our best interests at
Yeah.
heart. They don't. Oh, I just saw a black man was shot. Well, how about a black man who just lost out for a law degree at Harvard, even though he was qualified?
Yeah.
Why do you see us as victims? Stop seeing us as victims. We can thrive. And another talking point. Oh God, y'all got me started. Another talking point that drives me nuts. Okay, here's one you guys will hear. 12% of the population is black, but they commit 59% of the homicides. Yeah, you know what?
Who's keeping score? That's what I always say.
Also, what you got to say is this. Okay, on each other, just like white people do.
Yeah.
So the ultimate fact is this. The major majority of black people and white people don't commit crime. How do you like that? You know, we don't commit crime, but for some reason, Fox News likes to talk about Chicago. And here's another talking point I'll abolish. You know how Chicago got a bad rep? Nothing to do with folks and the gangs down there or South Side. Everything to do with the fucking Valentine's Day massacre. Okay, that's where Chicago got on the map during Prohibition when the mafia shot everybody up. It had nothing to do with black folks. Oh, you can't go to the South Side. Chicago. Yeah, they have bad pizza and bad baseball. That's a crime. Sorry, guys, I'm done.
No, it's all good. I'm right there with you. Going back to the being embraced by Republican National Convention. Did you hear about the Trump girls, the black Trump girls?
Yes, and he spoke at her funeral. Didn't know the bitch's name.
He didn't know her name, and only thing he did was talk about how she was devoted, but not as devoted as the other one.
And that's the other thing. Is like
he spoke so unpassionately about somebody who devoted their life to him.
Brothers, if I could tell you, if we're having a brothers support meeting right now, and they ever ask who's your favorite president, of course you're supposed to say Obama. You're supposed to say Obama. Look, try not to upset folks. Try to have a good time. I'm sorry, Teddy Roosevelt. That motherfucker was badass. And if you want to hear some real unpopular shit,
What?
Abraham Lincoln, he didn't give a fuck about you,
me, of course.
Greg. He didn't give a fuck about us. Not a fuck. It was a war tactic.
Yeah, of course.
That's it.
Yeah, to take money out of the South.
Take money out of the South because he was taking L's left and right, and suddenly goes. And by the way, blacks were forced to go, hey, boy, you got to go fight this war. Okay, yes, boss. I'll go fight that war. Mm-hmm. So we're saying this. I'm not going to sit here and say he was a bad president, but I will say, were his reasons altruistic? No, not at all. He ran on going that the black man is not a real man. Like, he's not a friend of ours. He's not. He's somebody who advanced things forward and got for his troubles, but he's not a friend of ours, bro.
I'd say he's a bad president, and the only thing that he did was free Will Smith of the shame of slapping Chris Rock for that movie Emancipation. The only thing he did.
but you know what I mean? Like they don't, like, history teaches us to love all these white men. And when I tell you about Teddy Roosevelt, I'm not lying. Booker T. Washington was his best fucking friend. Like they were bros. They broed the fuck out.
Okay.
Had him at the White House. Every one of his constituents was like, bad idea, bad optics. Now, he didn't do it again for a few years. and don't get me wrong, I get it. 'Twas the time. It was 1901. But that was his bro. He's like, we're bros. We bro out. We're bros. Right?
Yeah.
But this is the last president who went to Harvard, fought in the Spanish-American War, got confirmed kills in that war, by the way, hosted his black friend, believed in equal rights, believed in women's rights, wanted women to be able to vote in 1900. This dude was, and by the way, this nigga was like 5'6". You know what I'm saying? Little dude out here, like what?
You know,
and had that asthma. That's why he related to black folks. We all got that touch. You know, you got it. I ran
asthma. That's a black thing.
It's a black thing. I ran a 4.640 in high school, and I started on varsity as a sophomore. You know why? Because I was fast. But you know what I had? Asthma. What? After that 4.6 is over, nigga, I'm like.
Man, you got me looking up Theodore Roosevelt, man. We don't went all the way here.
I'm telling you, bro, Teddy Roosevelt, get on him. He was all about black folks. And even though Abraham Lincoln did some things, and don't get me wrong, I love Barack Obama. I get where he was coming from. Nigga can't show up just all of a sudden start putting purple curtains up, and you know, you can't do that. He did what he could do. But I get very sensitive when white people love somebody who we like.
Yeah, I mean,
don't quite love.
You know, look, my thing is, it's kind of like I'm like this with everything. If I do it once, it's a fluke. Gotta do it like 3 or 4 more times to cement it. You know what I'm saying? That's like Jordan's run. So let's see if we get another black person in there. You know what I'm saying? Then we can, double down. Till then, hey man, accidents happen.
I guess also too is when we say black, and again, I'm half black. We haven't had a black president.
I'm not one of those people, man. I think he lived the black experience. I'm not going.
I'm not.
His lips were black, so he was black.
But here's why, and it goes back to this, Jeremy. My argument that allow black people to have the same diversity white people have. Some of us are nerds.
Yeah.
I grew up with a cul-de-sac, homie. A cul-de-sac. Nigga. Yeah. You think I ran into gang violence? And yet I still.
I mean, I don't know how far this goes, but Southside Chicago, I mean, they gotta mean something, right?
But we're more than that, aren't we, Jeremy?
Absolutely. I definitely
agree.
Are we
more than the South Side of Chicago? That's part of us.
I agree, but so are you saying Barack Obama was not the first black president?
No, no. But comparative, yes. He wasn't. But when we get a full black, and here's why I'm gonna pitch this right here on your guys' show. Hakeem Jeffries, y'all. Could get. Look, if Biden wakes up next Tuesday, that's a miracle.
Oh man,
Democrats got to put somebody up. Hakeem Jeffries, the minority speaker. That nigga is badass. I love that dude. And you know who else I love? Y'all got a trip. Pete Buttigieg. You go hate, cuz?
Hey, you good, man. As long as you didn't say Candace Owens, I'm like, whatever, man.
Oh, Candace Owens, she's the worst of us.
But she's a troll man.
She's a child. That's
if you become a black person who undersells us, fucking shame on you. We're 12%, 13% of the population. We've been here for 200 years.
You can't let them get your goat, man.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Like I one time my sister sent me a Candace Owens thing. And by the way, my sister, she got her doctorate. She's busy. She didn't know Candace Owens was garbage. I go, don't ever send me Candace Owens. Ever. Again. Because that nigga right there, that nigga is yes, boss. I do that. I do whatever.
She's just a troll, man. You
Yeah.
can't
No,
let them
she's.
get her.
I think she's more than a troll because she's aggressive against
she's
black.
fine as fuck though, y'all.
No,
No,
Don't-
nigga, I'd love
No.
to have
Now,
relations with her.
what's her name? AOC. I choose her over, and I'm pro
She
black.
looked like a cricket though. AOC.
I mean, she
I'm telling you,
if we choosing,
Greg, where we at, Greg?
Oh,
Come
man.
on, bro.
oh, you want you to be a tiebreaker.
Y'all
Yeah,
funny,
you
man.
need
Ain't no
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker, man. Y'all funny, man.
Candace
Man.
no, I want to hate fuck Candace Owens. I want to hate fuck her.
Man, she don't deserve my stuff, bro. She don't deserve. I'll be like,
But bro,
I can't even get hard around her. All that stupid
you're
talking,
right.
like, I'll be like, I can't even hear half that.
You know what I used to do?
She made Kanye go, what? What you say? Like,
Oh, wait, let's talk about that. Where's our boy Kanye at? What about that nigga? Honestly, real talk.
wait, real quick. Somebody from the chat said I'm smashing Candace.
Yeah, I would too.
Y'all can have
She's
her.
hot.
Man,
Here's my theory.
She had like a little sister kind of way.
I'm gonna go real deep. Here's my theory. You know why certain people get certain accolades? I saw somebody post the other day on Instagram, and she said that Michael Jordan wasn't that good looking. It's only because he scored points. I go, whoa.
Wait, what's that again? Sorry.
Whoa. She said Michael Jordan only got all the accolades because he was kind of good looking, but he wasn't really that good looking. No, Charles Barkley said this.
Well, come on.
I'm like,
first opinion was a woman's opinion. Second opinion is Charles Barkley's opinion. Both of these opinions don't count.
Michael Jordan is one of the most beautiful men that ever lived. I
ain't gonna go that hard.
Freddie, I'll give you writing for a living and waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, this is
I'll give you.
You gotta go.
I'll give you gun activism. You know what I'm saying? I give you all that.
Handsome niggas.
But I'll say this, man. Candace Owens, man. She a troll, man.
But yes, but I'm separating troll from fine. You know why she's a successful troll? Because she's fine.
No. Yeah, she did take Stacey Dash's place. She
exactly.
Well, Stacey Dash is a complete idiot, and Candace Owens just has 2 more seconds of information than her. But
Ben Shapiro, they talk fast. Anytime somebody talks fast,
yeah, man.
Exactly, look, bro.
Exactly.
But
they just want her to, because she's spouting the opinions of old white men. But these are the new opinions. Yeah, they're not new opinions. There's nothing original about her takes. It's just the person that's saying it. Yo,
it's one of those things where when I watch her, I don't even get mad because I know what she's doing. Like you guys are talking about, she's a troll.
Yeah, he is trolling, man.
Oh, you know who loves to hear that shit? Huh. White people who have no black friends.
I make them feel like they're in touch.
Yeah,
they feel like they're in touch.
It goes back to why you guys, if we showed up to the RNC, why we'd be so well received. Oh, y'all are on our side. Y'all, I'm your black friend. I'm your black cousin. I'm your black this. I'm your black that. I guess what I hope for American politics is this. I don't trust white liberal woke people. Not at all. I just realized there's racism. And that's wrong. Bye. But a Republican, I've been telling you. Yeah, no, bye.
So I'm gonna hit you with the last one, Freddie. And I'm sure you got a great one for this. I'm sure you do. So with everything that you've seen before the pandemic, where we're at right now, shit, man, I got to give you your props. If you went through the LAPD training, by the way, I was wondering how you knew the type of ambulance that they were supposed to call, and you did know the type of ambulance that was supposed to be called if someone was injured. But you being biracial, just the wealth of your knowledge and lifestyle, him looking at his clock like, damn, it's got, yeah. No.
No. I got a text that said that you got AIDS. It was just a reminder. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I got AIDS.
Was that your
AIDS.
doctor?
Yeah, this is my doctor. You got AIDS, homie. I was like, I know. It ain't COVID. It ain't COVID.
It's
So
a wrap.
hey, what you doing right now? I'll tell you something real quick.
But how do you see social progression going in the next 2 years, especially with the things that have happened in Memphis and whatnot? Like what, and not from a place of hope, but from a place that in your mind, like where do you feel we're going to be in the next 2 years as far as social progress is concerned?
Man, that's a really good question, Greg. I appreciate that. Here, I take two views. Number one, the last Republican election showed that Republicans are sick of the QAnon shit. Yeah, they're just sick of it. They're like, all of you crazy people off to the fucking side talking about lizard people. Yeah, no, we're good. But on the same side, what I really want people to know is that in my experience as a black man, and I can't speak for yours, Jeremy, and I can't speak for yours, Greg, but when I walk out of my house, I don't want to be your victim. I don't want to be your cause. I don't want to be your soup du jour. I just want to be an American. Mm-hmm. So how can I get there? What can I do to make you stop looking at me in a certain way? Because the pendulum is swung from criminal to victim. And it's like, you know what? Again, I go back to that site that I quoted. The vast majority of us are not committing crime. So what do I want to see for social advancement? Progression? I'd like to see more understanding. LA is a very segregated city. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to go into a diatribe here, but the East Coast is a little less segregated. Here's what happens on the East Coast. If you live in Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, there's a great equalizer. It's the subway.
I was just going to say that people are and that's why people on the East Coast, like they're quick to cohabitate with each other too, because the price of living is so high. Right. You'll hop on the subway and meet I'm not going to say your wife, but maybe your girlfriend for the next 6 months,
Right. You're more willing to mix in with the culture, where it is in LA. And this goes back to being half black. I go below Olympic all the time. Good food, good clothes. Mm-hmm. But LA is a city that is divided. I don't know if you guys saw that new movie that's out right now.
You People?
You People. Yes.
Terrible movie.
Yes, absolutely. Underutilized talent. So you had an opportunity to show how divided LA is. It's not like New York. It's not like Philly. It's not like Boston. We can all connect, rub shoulders on the subway. But in LA, they've always squashed out the ability for us to connect. Mm-hmm. But as somebody who's multiracial like me, of course, I was devastated that Roscoe's on Pico is getting close. That's my Roscoe's.
Yeah.
I don't go to Roscoe's in Hollywood, and I don't go to Roscoe's in Maine and Manchester because I ain't trying to get got.
You just read my I pass it and I want to stop. I want to call in the order. I want to stop so bad. Yeah. I'm like, gonna keep it
so quick. I guess what I hope for socialism, and I hope for West Coast cities, especially west of the Mississippi, dude, let's intermingle, man. Like I've had so many black friends out here be like, do you know any white people? It's like, yeah, my mom. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Or a kid from Compton who hasn't seen the beach. That's what's wrong with West Coast race relations, is we stay so segregated. How do you live in Compton and haven't been to Santa Monica? Because the fucking old white laws keep you there.
Yeah. Well, nah, man. I want to thank you, Freddie. This was this went in another direction than what I was.
Yeah, sorry, brothers.
Let's go,
No,
Freddie.
this has been this has been great.
Go.
This has
You
been
got
great.
some information. You got the chat popping.
You know
everybody
me, bro.
rocking with you.
I'm Malcolm. I ain't Martin, bro. I go I go deep.
Hey, man. It's like Malcolm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Malcolm, J. Cole, the pro-black light-skinned guys, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all be holding this down for real.
I honestly, I just feel like, and I say this to you guys, we don't need to be stereotypes, but we have to love who we are. And by that, I mean this. Love the NBA player. Love the rapper. I love rap. I love basketball. But also love us and what we can be. We can be so many things.
Dope. So you man, so you're writing, now that you got any shows coming up, anything you wanna?
Yeah, I'm gonna be let's see, I just did the improv last weekend. I'm gonna do I'm doing West Side Comedy Theater this month, and I'm doing the Comedy Store. But I'm also writing an animated series that I really think will take off. It's about an old school dude who comes up from the La Brea tar pits, and he's from the past, and he doesn't know how to deal with the modern world.
Pretty awesome, man. That's more exciting than having a cup of coffee, working a 9 to 5, getting off, wanting to come home and give my dog a couple rib shots. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that either, brother. Don't ever shame that.
No, no, just mess you. And Jeremy, you got any shows coming up?
Friday I'm at the Comedy Store. Friday I'm at the Comedy Store. Monday I'm at Laugh Factory. That's cool. Keep it there because it's just re-airs anyway. So yeah.
You just have as a cat if he's going to be scratching any furniture. Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, this is
Jeremy?
the regulars.
Come on.
This is the little regular runarounds.
And I was making shit up and like I'm gonna be at the motherfucking comedy palace and then the joke hut. Yeah, cool. I'll see you find me there.
Dope, man. Well, no, man, it's been another episode of Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV. I want to thank you, Freddie, man.
Freddie, man.
This is
Can I thank
man.
both of you? I want to thank both of you guys, and also the Pharcyde. Are you kidding me? Easily the greatest West Coast rap group. Yeah, I'm gonna say ever. Yeah, I said it. Ever.
Yeah, that's an opinion. That's you know what I'm saying. That's an opinion. That's an opinion.
Oh, you take umbrage, cuz?
No, I'm just saying, man. That's an opinion. It's interesting. It's interesting because the West Coast is just like so diverse. But I'll say this real quick before we close out. One thing that I'm still not able to really connect with, and I kind of saw it happening maybe around like 93, 94, and then in the 2000s, it kind of went crazy. While the East Coast and the West Coast was beefing with each other and kind of going back and forth and all this, I never got how the two of them, but maybe they didn't have the power, but it was like the South came from nowhere, man. Like the South was kind of like, okay, you got the Ghetto Boys, you got sure. Anything off of Rap-A-Lot Records, and that's like we accepted that. It was like Rap-A-Lot Records had a relationship with us, the West Coast, and it was like, okay, that's cool. But when you start getting into I feel like a lot of the Southern music, it seemed like it should have been regional, but it became national. And it perplexes me. Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you this though. Do you think when two nations are warring, right? The East Coast and the West Coast, say you live in Nebraska, say you live in Texas, this shit means nothing to you, yeah?
Yeah.
And so maybe the South came in and swooped in. And that's why I really need to be a student of jazz. And I know jazz regionally, but I need to go, why did this sound pop up here? Why did it sound up there? And you're posing very good questions. Like, why all of a sudden, I feel like because they were both entangled with each other, then those funky fucking Southern beats came along. I'll say this. A very hot take. A very hot take. The most successful and underscore successful rap group of all time. You guys sitting down?
Is
Beastie Boys.
okay.
I didn't say best. I didn't
how
say
you pronounce
best.
Outcast.
I didn't say best. I didn't say most influential.
Okay.
I said most successful. And let me make this distinction.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan is a crew.
Yeah.
Okay. They all respectively have platinum albums on their own, all 9 members, and the honorary 10th, which is Ghostface Killer and Redman, whichever camp you're from. I don't know where you go, what camp you're from. But most dope rap group ever, Outkast, by a country mile. You know why? Because they took risks. They go, we don't care. And here's the thing I love about the South and that their representation of rap. They showed us something we hadn't heard. Paul Wall, no, actually, I take that back. First most successful rap group, Beastie Boys. Second most influential rap group, those niggas from the South. What's their name?
You talking about like as an actual group?
No, most influential from the South. From Atlanta, Fayetteville, Atlanta. You know who the fuck I'm talking about? Big Boy.
Oh, it's
I'm hot.
Southcast? Outkast?
Yeah, Outkast.
Oh, you just said it. That's why I was gonna say.
Okay, but third most important. You guys sit now?
Pharcyde.
No. A Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe. Okay.
Most important. And I'm talking about guys who broke off jazz licks. Do you know that in 1993, Midnight Marauders came out the same day that, by the way, I have the record. This is the original record of the Wu-Tang Clan, 36 Chambers.
You gotta hold it closer. It's not coming up. It's thinking it's a background. But we know what it looked like.
There's too much interstellar battling going on.
But we know what it looked like. This is classic.
That's the 36 Chambers record. That came out the same day Midnight Marauders came out. Now, let me break you off in this. In hindsight, 33 years later, 30 years later, the better album was Wu-Tang. But at the time, Midnight Marauders, holy fucking shit. Jazz.
Yeah.
Somebody said no tribe without De La Soul.
It's a good point. 3 Feet High and Rising, and then he must be a fan of the Low End Theory.
Of course.
All right, Freddy, we're gonna tap back in with you. We're gonna tap.
All right, guys.
Y'all
got me hip hopping, man.
You got nah.
Freddy.
We gotta bring you back in as a special commentator when we have some intelligent topics, man. I like to see you and Jeremy. The two intelligent guys. I just like to sit back in the background, man, and watch you guys go with the knowledge, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Tight.
Real quick. I just want to shout out the chat, man. We got Ben Frank, who's
Yep.
loyal and faithful. We got Jimmy Freckles, offering his 2 cents. We also got Fortune. Fortune came in chat late, but came in strong. And yeah, thanks guys for keeping us, keeping up with the topics, you know what I mean? Because we be needing it sometimes. So
yeah, Ben Frank is OG, man. Yeah, he rides with us. So now, y'all, this has been another episode